Any IUDs in the crowd? Nice. Glad you got through the metal detector. That's fun. I didn't know about IUDs. I didn't know what they were or how they worked, and I assume the women here are already familiar, but I'm a man, so I'm going to explain it with more confidence and less accuracy. So what it is, it's this little T-shaped rod wrapped in copper coils. It goes up into the uterus. I don't know how. I think it's like one of those ship in a bottle type mysteries. You're like, how does that fit in there? Like, I can't tell you. Trade secrets, you know. But it's great because before she was on the pill, that's just wild. It like makes your body think it's already pregnant. So even if an egg gets fertilized, the uterus is just like seats taken, right? And it just keeps going. But IUD, it's way simpler. It goes up there, and then you can leave it. It's not where it is, huh? Okay. I'm like a Texas governor. I'm like, I don't know where it is, and I don't want to know. That's between you and God. Your body, my choice. Okay. IUD, it goes up there, and then you can leave it there for like 10 years before it turns into a diamond. And I was asking her about it. I was like, okay, so what kind of hormones does it release? She said, no, there's no hormones. It's just copper wire. And I was like, well, how did your gynecologist/electrician explain this steampunk cervix? What is it, magic? Is it a Horcrux? Are there side effects? And she said, well, because it's non-hormonal, all I had with mine was for a few days after they put it in, there was like a rusty discharge and some mild discomfort, and that was it. And I said, that's crazy. Rusty discharge is my porn name. I got it from a website. It was that or Childish Gambino, but that was taken. It's copper, that's it. That's all it is. There's no medicine. Just like, hey, paper beats rock, copper beats baby. I don't know, you know? I like to think it's up there like a little Olympic gymnast holding the Iron Cross, just like, you got this, just focus on your career. They're trying to make IUDs for men. I'm excited about that. So what they have now is it's a polymer gel that they inject into your vas deferens, and it hardens and creates a barrier that sperm can't pass through. So it's like a fat kid stuck in a water slide kind of thing. They caulk your cock. And it's cheap, it's easy, and it's so painless you can walk home after getting it done. It's a little dangerous with that big cone around your neck, but just, be wary of your periphery. I'm a big fan of how many, medical breakthroughs were by accident. And I know this because I have a background in medical sales. In college, I would sell Adderall to my roommates, so I'm very qualified to speak on this. Like, a good one is penicillin. Penicillin naturally occurs in mold like you would find on old bread, and it was discovered when a doctor forgot to clean up his laboratory before taking a 2-week vacation. That is the father of modern antibiotics. Just some sloppy doctor like, yeah, buddy, spring break 1928, I contracted and cured syphilis. Viagra was also an accident. You know how Viagra started? Anyone know this one?
Blood pressure.
Blood pressure, that's right. It was a heart medication. That's how it started. That's what they thought it was gonna do. Handing it out like, yeah, this should help with your blood pressure. Like, I keep getting boners. And the doctor's like, fascinating. Diane, change the labels. Yeah, to boner pills. Actually, they might have discovered it earlier on. I don't know, during the clinical trials, that's even better. They were just giving it out to a bunch of dudes at once and leave them in a room for a couple hours, Doctor saunters back in with a clipboard, just like, all right, if anyone's feeling any side effects, please raise your... I was gonna say hand, right? And all the guys are trying to cover it up, they don't know what's happening, right? And there's just one dude in the corner in a wafty white gown just letting that flag fly. And a researcher has to walk up like, sir, you took the placebo. They're like, hey, contact high? I don't know, I'm just happy to be here. I learned from a nurse after a show, there's another use of Viagra. They also give it to premature babies, and not just as a prank. It's a vasodilator, so it helps the blood flow and legitimately saves lives. But my first question was, can it do the other thing to a baby? And he said, yeah, that does happen sometimes. How fun is that? How just an obstetrician walking past the NICU, and from the back crib, she just hears a, hey, toots, right? She turns around, there's an infant in a hard hat. Like, hey, what you doing later, huh? Just got out of vagina trying to get back in one, if you know what I'm saying. Also, what's this copper thing? It came out with me. What is this? A pogo stick for hamsters? Is this 3PO's tonsils? 99% my ass. Okay. Oh, what's another one? Oh, Propecia has a similar thing. So Propecia is the only drug that's really been proven to prevent and reverse hair loss in men. And it started as a pill for men with enlarged prostates. And the hair regrowth, just a side effect they noticed. And they're like, so how's your prostate feeling after that medicine I gave you? I was like, teeny. A little background on this next one. C. diff is a bacterial infection of the intestines. It's a nasty thing for people to get it. It's caused often by antibiotics. They'll kill all of the bacteria in your gut and kind of create this power vacuum for C. diff to take over. It turns your intestines into like post-Soviet Russia. Like you got rid of the bad guy, but now you have trouble with Putin. And the most effective cure we have for C. diff right now is a procedure known as fecal transplants, which is exactly what it sounds like. So what they do is they take a small amount of a healthy person's stool and they put it into your intestines, and those new bacteria will push out the old bacteria. It gentrifies your colon. And this works, and it's very exciting because as far as I'm aware, this is the first medical treatment that was invented by two third graders insulting each other on a playground. And they're just like, I hope you get diarrhea, and then someone takes their poop and they stick it up your butt and they mix it with your poop, and a doctor just runs up like, what did you just say? Okay, I'll do one more medical one. Otherwise, this legally becomes a symposium. I get a lot of heartburn. I've had heartburn since I was 4 years old. I've taken everything you can take for it. Omeprazole, lansoprazole, Xanax, Ambien, Vicodin, Tums. Tums. I don't trust Tums. I think Tums are just sweet tarts that went through gay conversion therapy. I think that's what Tums are. One of my favorite things to take for heartburn is baking soda. It's been great for me because I travel a lot. Whenever I fly, I always try to bring with me a little Ziploc bag full of baking soda. Hey, you guys are fun. You get it. I would like to stress something here. I am not into cocaine. It's not my thing, but it is difficult to convince a stranger of that because I look like I flip ski lodges, right? Looks like I have Cafe du Monde in my sinuses right now. And I had an incident where I went through airport security. I go through the machine, and there's a guard holding my bag, and he says, "Sir, is this yours?" And I say, yes. He says, "Okay, come with me real quick. We're gonna look through it." So he brings me over, he plops my bag down, unzips it, reaches in like a candy crane, and pulls out this little baggie full of white powder. And I was just like, oh, shoot. Okay, yeah, okay. I know what that looks like, but it's not. And he says, "I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to show this to my boss." And I said, "Okay, this probably sounds crazy, but can I show you something with that really quick?" And in case you're wondering how white I am, he goes, yeah, sure. And he hands it to me. So I take it from him, unaware of my privilege, and I say, "Check this out. My dad was a chemist. I can prove it's not that." So I reach in, I scoop out a small handful, and I start sprinkling it out of my fingers. And I said, "You see that? If this was cocaine, I wouldn't do that."